This family travel trailer is as beautiful as it is functional, but most importantly, it's affordable. So stick with me because this just may be your next camper. And this unit I'm sitting in is the 2024 Heartland Mallard Tailwind 265BH. And as you can see, there's definitely a lot to love right away from a design perspective. It's something that is very new to the industry, but it's following a lot of residential trends, and I think they actually executed pretty darn well. Starting with this sofa I'm on. Not only is it comfortable for a jackknife sofa, but it looks good. I really like the color. I think it blends in really, really well with like the deep kind of navy blue of the bottoms, the lowers, if you will, on the cabinetry right here. And I think color-wise, everything goes together very well, including the flooring. You have a linoleum flooring, kind of a natural wood, tongue and groove plywood, by the way, underneath that. But you will also see that even your slide outs, of course, they've gotten rid of carpet, but they went away from like that marine grade vinyl woving or marine grade vinyl flooring, if you will, woven flooring. And they've gone with linoleum up into the slide too, just for that kind of more seamless look. Now, there is storage underneath the jackknife. If you're not familiar with a jackknife sofa, that is probably the biggest advantage to it. It doesn't make the biggest bed ever. I'll drop it down into a bed just like so. And as a 6-foot adult, you can see, you know, it's not going to be great for adults. For a kiddo, though, it'll do the trick. But most importantly, it's just a great place to sit. The other thing I really like they did design-wise is they got rid of kind of the chunky window trim, right? And what they've done instead, you can just see that they have the curtains here. Again, super simple with the rails, but I like it. If you need to, if something gets spilled on these, you can take them down, clean them, wash them, throw them in the dryer, whatever you need to do. So they are nice and easy to clean, unlike the old, paper blinds that just get absolutely destroyed. Don't have to worry about tensioners. I mean, just a huge win from a design standpoint. Coming over to the dinette. So this is a little bit interesting too. They've done some changes here. Now, at first glance, you're probably gonna say, well, man, this looks cheap. And honestly, I'm going to agree with you. This is not my favorite look when it comes to a table. But when I talk about functionality, this right here is probably one of the most functional table setups you can get. Why? Well, you have the two legs, but more importantly is the fact that it is actually bracketed to the wall so that I can actually put some weight on here, right? If I need help getting up and out, I can actually push on the table and it's not going to collapse. It's not going to move. If it's just the standard pedestal tables, they move around a lot in there, and you'd be surprised at how many times you'll have plates move or things spill because the table shifts more than it should. That again also drops down into a bed, but once again, not going to be a huge one. Coming around to the back. Now, there actually is a slight change here. This is the very first one. This is a brand new floor plan, this Mallard Tailwind. Brand spanking new. Talking to the manufacturer about this with the radius. Unfortunately, well, I wouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, they're actually going away from this radius. While it does look nice, it just limits the weight capacity of the bunks. So they're actually going to square this off a little bit more and have a little bit of an angle. So that way you can get the full 300-pound weight capacity. And in my opinion, 100% the trade-off. So in the future, just know that this will be a slight angle, but it definitely, like I said, worth it. You'll also notice the storage that you're going to get underneath. Love that. Perfect amount of space for a laundry basket, so I can put it under there, have a spot for the kids' clothes, electrical outlet down there as well. And then right back in the corner here is the bathroom. I know this, I have a lot of people that when they're new to RVing, this freaks people out having a door to the bathroom. I'm telling you folks, once you've been RVing for a while, you will love having this. Why? Because anyone that needs to use the bathroom from outside can come in, you can use the bathroom and exit right back out. You're not bringing all that dirt and everything else all the way through the camper. Trust me, this is a great feature. And as far as space, again, right, if you're here, you need to do your business, just lock the doors. Your deadbolt right here. No one's coming in while you're doing your thing. You'll be just fine. Plastic bowl, that's the only there's only two negatives, I would say, in this camper, one of them being the plastic bowl. The other one's in the kitchen. I'll show you in a second, but again, that's something that's easy enough to replace if you choose to do so in the future. Mirrored medicine cabinet up top there. And again, of course, the vanity right down below. Tub shower. I do prefer having a tub if you have kiddos, because if you have young ones, they can actually take a bath. Or if you have a fur baby and you want to be able to give them a bath inside, this gives you the ability to do that as well. I'll take a step in here just to kind of give you an idea of space. So at 6 foot tall, I am up in the skylight. You can't be much taller. Maybe 6'1", you can still stand in here. Any taller though, you will have to duck down. You can see without that skylight, I am still topping it out, but right here I am good. Now, it has a hand wand, which is good because I'm not gonna be able to do much turning, even with the, with the curtain here, I'll be fighting it, and I personally don't like that feeling. Maybe you're different. But you're basically gonna have to stand here, do one of these, grab the hand wand, and basically use the hand wand to do all the showering. But most people I talk to, when I talk to a lot of RVers, and I'm in the same boat, I don't use the shower in the RV a ton. Most places I'm staying, I will just use the facilities at the campground. They're generally, very well kept up, at least the places I tend to frequent, and so I don't have any issues there. Coming over to this side, you can see good pantry space. This again is almost a must in my opinion. And you like most floor plans, this particular floor plan, right? Like most models that are this floor plan, you kind of have choice. You can either do this as a pantry, or you can use this for the kids' clothes because you don't have a ton of other space to put it. So a lot of times that does get used up for the kids' clothes. Open up the Dometic fridge freezer combo. This one is a gas electric unit, so you do have both options. If you want to run it off propane, you can do that. If you plug into shore power, you can do that as well. So it does give you the option of doing a little bit of boondocking because of the propane hookup. And then we get into the kind of rest of the kitchen here, and again, I think they did just an awesome job. You have the nice bright white uppers with your champagne bronze pulls as well as the faucet. Again, very modern color schemes. We're seeing it in the residential side, they're bringing it into the RV side. Herringbone backsplash, again, very popular, love that look. And then as we, actually technically is that chevron? It might be chevron actually, because I think herringbone kind of squares up. It might be chevron, I might have to double check that, but either way, it is a very nice looking pattern. I think it is chevron, but I do like it. Dropping down, they kind of have like a false Carrera top, right? It looks like Carrera, but it's actually going to be a thermofoil countertop. And honestly, it's a good countertop design. It's definitely an upgrade over like your old T-mold, big time. Also, it still allows you to undermount the sink like you'd be able to with like a true stone, but you don't have the weight that you would get if you had an actual stone countertop. Big sink in there as well, and as I mentioned, they were able to undermount that. Storage underneath for pots and pans. I kind of wish that they would have maybe, I don't know, kicked the P-trap over this way a little bit and maybe taken one of these out, maybe the other side. I don't know. It's not bad, but I like to have a spot for my trash can. I would have liked to have seen that. But again, you do have plenty of room for pots, pans, everything else down there, which is definitely still a big win. You'll see 2-burner cooktop right over to the side. Again, because of the size of the RV, they went with 2-burner instead of 3-burner just to give you a little bit of additional prep space. And let's be honest, most of us are cooking outside anyway. And you do get, the 2 drawers that in my opinion are necessary to make a functional kitchen. Any less, it's just not going to work. And as you saw, they do have slow close drawer guides on there. Entertainment center is nice and big. It's built, I believe, to fit a 40-inch TV. So even if you're sitting in the dinette or the kids in the back, you'll still have a great view. I mean, folks, RVs aren't that big. A 40-inch in an RV is plenty in most scenarios. You will see kind of storage all in the center here, as well as some over to the side. And again, I don't know how well this picks up on camera, but it is kind of that deep navy, just like we have in the kitchen. Then as we step into the bedroom here, so we have wardrobe on both sides, storage across the top. You'll also see right in the back, you have little shelves with electrical outlets as well as some USB ports there. Queen size bed right here. There is storage underneath. I'll lift this up real quick just to kind of show you. So you have the foot locker right here as well as additional storage underneath there. So a couple different storage options, which is great. And then if you want TV in the bedroom, there is TV hookup. You can mount it here. Not 100% sure where the backer is. I'll have to make sure they put a sticker there so you do know when you get this one, but I do know that you can obviously have it installed here as the hookups are located right there. Let's take a look at some of the outside features on the 265BH Mallard Tailwind. Honestly, we're going to talk a little bit about construction. I think you'll be pretty impressed. They definitely have some pretty impressive construction features, especially at this price point. Right up front, you know, we have our tongue jack as well as our 20-pound propane tank. You can see rails for the battery. And then kind of coming up the front is the diamond plating as well as our smooth aluminum front, which gives it a nice look and aesthetic, and also is a little bit easier to clean than having like a ribbed aluminum front there. As we come around to the side, so we talked about some impressive construction aspects. This is going to be one of them. Take a look at how much storage you have here. Having a pass-through this size at this price point is pretty darn rare. And I love just how open it is. Everything is finished off, so you don't have to worry about anything snagging. You have a couple lights in there, and on the other side, you even have a tire pressure monitoring system prep. So if you want that peace of mind of just knowing where your tires are at as you're going down the road, help prevent some blowouts, which is always a great thing, you can have that installed. The other thing that I think really blows my mind at this price point to have is the fact that this has Azdel composite construction. So behind this fiberglass skin, rather than having a Luan layer, which is going to be a wood substrate, instead we have that Azdel composite. And that does three big things for you. The first one is the fact it's going to be lighter weight, and we're talking about towing a travel trailer. Weight's always going to be a big concern. The other one is the fact that it does not absorb moisture. So what that essentially means is this is not going to delaminate. It'll stay looking beautiful. You're not going to get the big bubbles you may have seen on some other campers. And the other thing is that it's not going to have the off-gassing like a lot of times you get with Luan. We have like a formaldehyde or something like that. So it is going to be a little bit easier to sit inside. You don't have to worry about it, especially on those hot summer days. Now, getting into this one, as we saw, is quite simple. We have two entrances and exits. This will, of course, be your main one with the bigger grab handle here. Secondary one there, it goes directly into the bathroom. Taking a step back, I do want to talk a little bit about kind of underneath the camper and some things, again, that are equally impressive. One is the fact that this has your wide track suspension, which is going to be a spread axle system. And again, we talk about towability. That's really where this is going to come in handy because with that widespread axle, you know, anytime you have the wider wheelbase, so to speak, you're going to get less sway. It's going to be a little bit more stable, and that's exactly what we have here. Also, if we drop down underneath, I do just want to point out, this one has a fully enclosed and insulated underbelly, so that is going to help keep out, you know, some of the critters and stuff out of there, as well as a lot of the road grime, and it's just going to help keep things warmer, you know, help prevent some of that freezing in colder climates. Not saying you're going to want to go, you know, camping when it's 0 degrees out, wouldn't recommend it, but you know, kind of late fall, early spring, this one will still do pretty darn good. Taking a look up top, you'll see the power awning with an LED light, and because we don't have a slide out on this side, this is all great usable camp space right here. So especially if you're at like a seasonal and you have a deck, you can fold these steps up, and because there is no slide, you're able to utilize all of that deck space. Coming around to the back, you can see the square tubular bumper with your spare tire, so it is very easy to access. Our 6-gallon water heaters located back here. You have the outside shower with both hot and cold water access, city water inlet there as well. And then right up top is, of course, backup camera prep as well as your ladder prep. So this one has a fully walkable roof, which it's always good to get up on your roof, you know, a couple times a year just for basic maintenance and inspection. And by the way, if you never want to get up there, I completely understand, folks. It's pretty darn high up off the ground. You can bring it into a Camping World, and the tech will get up there and inspect it for you just to make sure everything is on the up and up. You'll also see 30 amp detachable power cord is going to plug in right in the back there. And right down below, if we take a look at our terminations, you will see we have a couple, because this one does have 2 gray tanks for added gray tank capacity. But again, you can see that the valves go up into that fully insulated underbelly, so that the valve bodies are going to be, again, just a little bit better insulated in some of that cold weather. So I'm telling you folks, for an entry-level camper, right, this one kind of checks all the boxes. I mean, you have the bunks in the back for the family, you have super comfortable seating, you have the big super slide in there, plus the fact that it just has excellent construction, and more importantly, not only is it beautiful, it's affordable. Now, I'm probably thinking, Ian, I get it, I hear you, what is the price? Well, that's no problem. There is a link in the description. All I have to do is click on it, and not only will it show you the inventory closest to you, but it will show you that pricing as well. So as always, folks, thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.